Could the speakers please come to the podium here so we can start our panel discussion? Thank you. Welcome back to the next, or the last session here, which is our panel discussion. And welcome back Jean-Bernard, Nikos and Chad. And I prepared a few questions that we would like to discuss. Okay? The first one, I think, is really about what are the commercial aspects of wealth tech. So we discussed what is wealth tech, and I think it means many things, different things to different people. But what are the commercial aspects? Okay? One is robo-advisors or people who offer solutions. In Jean-Bernard, how do you make money out of that? How many assets do you need in order to be profitable? Are these solutions profitable? Will they be profitable? Are there conflicts and so on? So who wants to take this on? Who wants to be the first on the subject of profitability of wealth tech solutions?
Shall I start? So typically us we work on a subscription basis, so it doesn't really depend on the AUM. Okay, most of our clients are very reticent to pay AUM-related fees to access knowledge. Because technology is sort of lower, the way you manage knowledge, which is the new all in modern days, so it's the ability of you recycle that knowledge among users. That's shorter new production, let's say, and it's, like consultants, you write one data once and then you recycle it. It's how the community share the knowledge together, and the ability to share the knowledge, that's the per subscription fee for that. But on your side, you don't need to be having tens of analysts to produce it. So you lower your production costs, and the fact that you can have as many subscribers as you want to, and the knowledge is how you become profitable with a team of 7 to 10, instead of having 100% working for you.
So you have a fixed fee for your services, and you just need a certain number of subscribers, and that's it. Obviously, the more subscribers, the better.
Yeah.
No conflict of interest, I guess, because you
exactly.
have a fixed fee. Okay, I understand. Nikos, Chad, want to comment on that?
Yeah, as you sort of alluded to earlier, wealth tech is a big area, and depends what we're talking about in particular. My experience of companies who are innovating from in the wealth management space, for example, platforms, which we've seen the rise of over the last 10 years, is that initially, obviously, the market is in its infancy. What happens then is a number of players join that market because they see it as a gap in the market. And what we've seen with platforms, say over the last 10 years, is now there's an element of consolidation. And we're finding that 3 or 4 are emerging. Some of them are still not profitable. And I see a similar sort of pattern with robo-advisors. I think robo-advisors is a very new market. The ones in the UK are still not profitable. If anything, larger ones are making bigger losses. But over time, this market will mature, consolidate, and hopefully for them it will be profitable.
Nikos, comment on that?
Well, I'm an academic, so I can't really comment on how they're doing those businesses are doing in terms of the profits. But what I saw is that the competition is intense, right? At least in the robo industry. And I think the traditional wealth management companies that go into the robo advisory business have a huge advantage that they can reach clients directly. Okay, so from what I saw, the big problem right now is how to attract new clients. The cost of acquisition has gone up. The average account hasn't grown. Okay, so competition is intense right now in the industry. As we just heard, UK robo-advisors are losing money. So we have to see where it will all end. Okay, there is still lots of venture capital backing. We need to see where they will create profits.
Yeah. I saw research that stated that robo-advisors would need assets, holding periods of assets of 10 years to be break even. I think it's a very extreme number, but I guess because of the very low fees, you really need very sticky assets. So if these assets are not sticky and the markets are not going the right direction, it's going to be very difficult for some of them.
I'm just going on the fee subject. I mean, the fees are low. It's very possible that robo-advisors now have to raise their fees in order to become sustainable, and therefore they may lose some of their competitive advantage when compared to, say, financial planners, because we can find that their fees are the difference, the spread between our fees and theirs narrows.
Good.
Just to finish, if you may, on robo-advisors, to raise 100 million, you need to spend 4 million on marketing.
Yeah. There we go. It's the 10 years. Yeah. Very interesting. So perhaps another question that I prepared was, what is the future model in wealth management? Is it fully robo? Is it algo? Is it a hybrid? Anybody wants to do any predictions?
Yeah, I'll have a go at answering that. I mean, I've had a bit of a play around with some robo-advisors, and some of the algo stuff makes me a bit nervous, the conclusions it comes up with. So, from my point of view, the jury's out on whether these algorithms are correct or whether they're appropriate. I think there perhaps is a market for fully robo. If clients educate themselves to a certain level, they can select appropriate investments at certain levels and fully robo they're asking for. And there probably is space for hybrid, where there's some human involvement to check on the information that the client has entered into the system, and for a planner such as myself to look at what they've come up with, and if there's a problem, to get in touch with the client. The problem with hybrid is, just spoke a moment ago about profitability. If you want to hire planners into your, put them on your cost base as a robo-advisor, it's going to push profitability even further. Again, probably move costs as well. In answer, fully robo, yes. Algo, not sure. Hybrid, potentially.
Robert, are you hybrid?
So, we are virtual analysts. We're here to tell you what's, a pure turn all stone and say down. I think the strict row, it might surprise you, but I'm very skeptical about the model of robo-advisors today. I'm extremely skeptical. To me, it's reinventing the same wheel in a different format. At the end of the day, it doesn't help me decide whether I'm making the good or the right decisions. I really believe that technology is here to supplement decision making, not to replace it. So I wouldn't talk about a hybrid either. I just say the way advice is distributed is going to change radically, because you would no longer need very well structured committee to access advice, because producing the ability of making an advice is going to be, you can be an individual and be as good as making an advice of Cambridge Associates, because you would not need a whole back office, middle office to produce that knowledge, to distribute that knowledge and produce that advice. So it's rather the way we're going to access advice which is going to change. But it's not going to replace the human beings.
Good. What about crypto? What role can crypto play in wealth management? Unfortunately, Jacob had to leave. So now you can be honest, you can be tough. What do you think? Crypto in crypto as an asset allocation, we saw its different asset allocations. And I think it's very interesting, because I would have thought it's the other way around, right? Diversified is low volatility. He says the thing. So, any opinion on that?
Personally, I'm not a convert, so I don't really understand crypto as an asset. So is it an asset? Now, I think it started as a currency, but it's too volatile to be a currency, right? Because price is going to be double or half in a day, so it's not really a currency with this level of inflation, right? So now they're trying, people into crypto try to push it as an asset. I'm still not sure what it represents. So why is it an asset? It has no future cash flow, right? How can you do fundamental valuation of crypto or Bitcoin? Well, yes, if other people think Bitcoin has a high value, then Bitcoin has a high value. But to me, that's the definition of an investment value. So I'm not sure, about crypto as of now. I may be wrong, but right now I don't see it as playing a role in traditional wealth management. As a a speculative vehicle, absolutely. Right? If you want to speculate with 5% or 1% or whatever you both try it. So this is the role right now. You see for crypto.
So, but to make cryptocurrency remains a currency, so it goes maybe under your currency as delegation bucket. To not view it not the class per se. What I'm interested in, however, on the crypto side is how it can replace. It's to me it's more the tech to replace administrators and fund structures. Like you may not need an ETF if you want to track an index. You actually can create a currency that's going to track an index. It's going to be a much easier, a much cheaper way of tracking pool of investments. That's how I would view it. More the mean than to get exposure than an asset itself.
Chad.
In terms of the portfolios we run at NLP Financial Management, there's a sort of an emphasis on growth and preservation. We achieve that preservation through diversification. But what our clients are expecting us to do is to invest into assets that we understand. We don't really understand crypto. Certainly I don't. I'm not on the investment team. They want us to invest into assets that are regulated. Crypto doesn't necessarily enjoy that at the moment, and they want a track record. Crypto's not been around long enough for us to include in their portfolios. So at this moment in time, it wouldn't play any sort of part in our portfolios. It would be too much of a business basically if we were to have some exposure to crypto, and if it went wrong, wouldn't sit well with us.
Are there any questions? Anybody wants any questions?
Can I add something about the cryptocurrencies? Regarding whether the cryptocurrency is an asset or not. As we know from finance, no, I'm pretty loud. As we know from the finance, we usually invest in an asset with a long-term value. Okay, and more or less we can use some valuation methods in order to see whether this value is going up or down. The cryptocurrencies are the only one asset, if this is an asset, with no long-term value. Because there is no value. It's a value which is emotionally driven by amateur investors, not fundamental investors, in a market which is unregulated. So, saying that, and this is the definition from quite a lot of academic journals, papers, and research, I don't think that we should even discuss about cryptocurrency. This is the big joke of the century, and it will collapse. Just like that. Thank you.
The technology is interesting though.
Sorry?
The technology per se, blockchain tech is
Technology
super
might
interesting.
be interesting.
Don't dismiss it. I think the crypto maybe, but not at the time.
We can use the technology for some other purposes, but not as an asset, as an investment vehicle. And I think that we're going to attract quite a lot of people. And the financial crisis was just 8 years ago. We were heading to another one. So we probably need to start talking about things that will make our life better in terms of the investor side and not in terms of what the companies can offer.
But what you can argue on the crypto though it's being used not by everybody nice, but it's having a store value though, and it becomes a fiat instrument for some people to do transaction. It's starting getting this fiat value that you would expect from a currency. So there might be a shift in behavior. I'm not saying the value of the currency per se, but I'm not saying it's going to fund a parallel economy. But there's a fiat value that we cannot dismiss. Not as an asset class, not as an investment, but
as a currency.
Okay.
So I'll start if possible just to comment on that, and I do actually have a question for as well. So regarding Bitcoin being an instrument where amateur investors invest and play around with the fundamentals that don't apply, they might not apply, but I'd say we have companies in the stock markets and equities where you still have and will always have amateur investors making bubbles in, right? I don't need to say much more, micro, right? companies, AMD fell 18% today. Its market cap is huge, yet still we see these sort of results and reactions in the market because we overvalue things. So we already operate very comfortably in a market where the only real value we can find is basically oil stocks. And we're happy with playing this game of, okay, I think that it's going to go even more above the price target, even more above the price target, and we bet on that. What's the problem with having an asset which is primarily and only focused on that? I think that, yeah, it sucks, it's terrible as an asset, as a currency, but with BACT coming up, the ICE next day delivery Bitcoin futures, maybe with institutional investors we'll start seeing a forward curve, we'll start being able to see trading patterns and pricing patterns emerge out of that, which in 5-10 years could potentially give us enough information to sort of make an assessment. Okay, this is the fundamental structure of this asset. We're not there yet. And my question is towards the panel. There's, with all this innovation in wealth management and these robo-funds, why hasn't there been a higher focus, maybe even a lesser focus, on actually educating the consumers and the investors? It seems that everything is, oh, it's easy, super easy. You know, go on authorify.com, put 10 pence in and you'll make £100, you know, the next one. It makes it too simple. And that's where you start getting problems. That's where people start getting mad, and that's what demeans the trust of the industry. How do you think we, you know, people in the industry, companies in the industry can start fixing that reputation, educating the consumers?
There's a problem we're trying to solve with our virtual analyst. Ask a question and you get an answer on top of a suite of tools, risk management tools. This is typically what we're doing. Distribution of knowledge.
As a financial planning firm, we pay levies, etc. Some of that does go towards educating the consumer. I forgot the name of the website now. There is a website out there that offers kind of free basic advice to clients. So there is I guess as an industry we are moving in the right direction. Unfortunately, perhaps that only ends in the wrong hands, and the information is still miscommunicated, and still not educating consumers. But certainly there has been a shift, I can say, in the last few years. I alluded to it in my presentation, that consumers are getting a little bit more savvy. They kind of know roughly what they want. The reason why they're accessing a professional is because they're concerned, quite simply, they don't know enough about investment, or they're more scared of what they don't know rather than what they do.
Is there another question?
If I may add, sorry. I think a simple answer is that educate consumers doesn't take most of the time, right? Most of the time. Educating consumers mostly doesn't take.
Yeah,
okay. So, you know, a solution could be this professional ethos we talked about and so on and so forth, right? But right now, the larger imbalance between, you know, the client and the advisor, the better for the advisor, let's be honest. Okay, so this informational asymmetry works for the advisor and against the client. So in that sense, we need to look at how we can develop as a profession and provide this education, even if it is against our short-term financial interests.
But also education is too young, sorry to finish on. There's a lot of things the sector keeps on relying on.
Yes.
And so it's track records could be completely fantastic. It could be good in the past, it could be good in the future. And still this is used as a metric.
And even the way you present the results.
Yeah, that's a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a question in the back.
So just a question on the role of cryptocurrencies within the wealth ecosystem. So particularly Bitcoin in its earlier days was highly deregulated, and we saw this influx, this mass legitimization of capital that used to flow from black economy activity, which was previously non-operational. It flew into the system, and we saw this new saturation of crypto wealth. Based on that, and anecdotally actually, cryptocurrency centric companies paying their employees in cryptocurrencies, decentralized, and taxes weren't sort of being recognized. To what degree do you think that A, cryptocurrencies are helping to introduce capital within the system and to stimulate activity, and B, this is an ethical one, so probably directed at you, Nikos, on the CFA ethical voluntary framework. With that respect, how much of an impact, how much of a threat do you think crypto poses to our relatively regulated world?
So, if I may start, I think what you mentioned is the only real use of crypto, right? Illegal activities, okay? Tax dodging, black economy, and so on and so forth. Not yet, because it's still very volatile to use as a means of payment, even if you want to buy drugs on the darknet. Okay? If something is double the price the next day or triple the price or half the price, you don't know it. Okay? So even to act as a kind of for the purpose of black market, it has to, the volatility has to go down a lot. Okay? Now, what was your second question?
So actually my first point, so to what degree do you then think cryptocurrencies are going to help to stimulate activity within wealth? I mean, for example, if you were a large agent dealing on some in the black economy and you had all of this capital that was at one point non-operational, and then you found a way to legitimize it through the system. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see a mass legitimization of capital, and then perhaps assets under management under banks and asset management firms starts to grow over time?
Again, we have to see, a long-term reduction in volatility, in order to act as a means of payment. If you see deflation of 90%, for example, in a week, as you saw last summer, it can't act as a means of payment. So once that does happen, then yes, one use of crypto can be funding illegal activities. But right now I can't say anything else.
Nico, I think that the first player who is not going to allow cryptocurrencies to grow in the market is central bankers. I mean, for sure, as a means of payment, or as long as the cryptocurrencies do not follow the fundamental values of money, central bankers will always be against this asset. So for sure, I think that they will never try to regulate the market because they are trying to kill the market.
I don't disagree with Sir as well. We're talking about illegal activities, black market.
I beg to differ, because if you think about it, what is a currency? A fiat currency is also a pure trust that actually you're getting something for it, right? So I think because we're at a very early stage of cryptocurrencies, it's not one, it's so many different. We don't know what they are. I mean, we know, if you look it up, there are 1,300 different instruments out there and so on. So I think the first one is absolutely it's a question of trust. But if we're really innovative and we understand perhaps that this is perhaps the first inning, but there's a second, third, fourth, fifth, perhaps then an evolution. And we've heard that the central banks actually are very carefully studying this. Even the banks are studying it. And perhaps we have to be a bit more open-minded. I'm not a proponent of crypto, don't get me wrong, but perhaps there's an application in the future where actually blockchain technology and the idea of crypto is then adopted by banks or larger central banks and so on. And there have been some kind of studies into that. We know that the ECB are looking into that and so on. Like us, they're studying it. They're not quite clear what is really the role, but there is potentially a role in that, potentially the digitalization of money. As you know, now we're using less and less cash when there is actually now digital money. So perhaps in the future there is some kind of, let's say, convergence between real money and crypto technology then comes in. But obviously there's a conflict. The conflict is that crypto is all about being anonymous. And I think that creates some kind of issue and so on. So what I would just like to suggest is, I think we have to be open-minded, and obviously it's used for criminal activity, but you could say the same about the US dollar. The US dollar is used for criminal activity. and we know there's huge packs of dollars out there in the market which are not controlled by the Fed. So I think we just have to be open-minded about it and see potential ways there some kind of aspects of using it. And then at some point in time, then perhaps in a wealth management context, we can look at that.
Jacob, don't forget that the Western societies are more conservative than what we do. And we can see this as a result of the elections and so on and so forth. We've seen graphic, I don't know who, but finance institutions and trust in finance institutions was just the last one among quite a lot of other things. So based on that, and by providing people, things and assets which are not well communicated or not well understood by the average investor, the only thing that we're trying to do is to extend the gap of knowledge and trust among the market participants. So I don't think that we need to, that was my initial point, that we need to look things on two different sides. Your side, the corporate side, and the other side, which is consumers, investors. And I think that the investors are quite conservative. That is why they still, after the financial crisis, we don't still trust the financial institutions. 46% is nothing. I mean, you tend to trust more the church, okay, the national government, the central bank, but not the financial institutions. And when I say financial institutions, I mean the providers. So this is a problematic situation that probably the corporate world should solve first. And then we can discuss about the cryptos.
This is one thing, I don't know. In the 18th century in France, the Jacobites, a Scottish banker, moved to Paris and created his assignat. So it was a very early stage cryptocurrency. It was a note that was indexed against the profit of the very famous to that more in English audience, but the French Western Indian company. And so it was backed against the 10 cents, a bit like what you see now with white paper, the cryptocurrencies. It was very volatile, it collapsed, it bankrupt quite a few people, but still the idea of using a note remained until we use banknotes instead.
But it wasn't so.
But then there's a shift here, therefore. You can expect a shift from the way we know currencies into something radically different.
I was just going to say, do you think that the fundamental issue is that people don't trust financial services or the providers of financial services because it's not tangible? There was a list of things there, automotive and pharmaceutical, whatever. These are all things you can touch. And even when it comes down to currency, your £5 notes, it's tangible. As soon as you get to cryptocurrency, it's not tangible. Financial services really aren't tangible. You might get a piece of paper that says you own 15 shares in Shell, DP, whatever it happens to be, but it doesn't feel of value. And I think that's the fundamental thing with trust. And that's, going to your question as to why, what can we do in order to educate people? And I do fundamentally agree with it doesn't pay. But I take issue with that. It does. I think if you educate people, you're going to build an economy, you're going to get entrepreneurs, you're going to get people who understand how to make money, the value of money, not the price of everything, but the value of money, and you build your economy. So to educate people is very important. It's got to be down to government, unfortunately, to do what you're doing here, essentially in universities, and bring that down into schools and train people at a very early age what money is, what the value of money is, what the value of an asset is, and how to grow it. That's what
I agree with you. My point was it doesn't pay on the micro.
Sorry?
It doesn't pay on the micro level.
Well, no, it doesn't.
It absolutely pays on the micro.
You have to.
That's why we're educators, that's why we're here.
Sure.
Very interesting. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, then I would like to bring this to an end, and I would like to invite Professor Gianfranco Vento to give some closing remarks. Thank you very much for those who stayed till the end. I promise I will be brief. First of all, thanks to Jaco for organizing this third Wealth Management Forum. I think it's very interesting to have this overview about where wealth management is going every year, and I strongly encourage Dr. Schmidt to continue to organize this very nice event.
I'm grateful with the speakers who covered very interesting topics. Personally, I learned a lot of things today about where wealth management is going, about cryptocurrency. The first speaker, Jaco, was not here with us anymore. Said something very interesting about how cryptocurrency can be useful in the perspective of diversification, and also how cryptocurrency could be regulated. Also, the presentation from Jan Bernard about robo-advisors and technology which has to supplement rather than replace market decisions is very interesting, very relevant to me. I enjoyed also Nikos' presentation about ethics and robo-advisory, and also the last one from Atwal was interesting. I would like just to focus the attention on a couple of issues. First of all, I'm professor of banking and finance, but mostly banking. So I'm wondering all this innovation, how is going to impact on the traditional financial intermediaries, traditional financial intermediation. And I'm personally I'm in favor of innovation, I'm in favor of technology, especially as long as I can see that this innovation can generate values for different stakeholders that are the ultimate beneficiaries of the financial system as a whole. I have to say some of these innovations for sure generate some value for clients. If we think about robot advisory, especially for those segment of clients who is not actually properly assisted by traditional banks, for sure robot advisory can create value. When we discuss about other innovations, like for instance cryptocurrencies, I have to say I'm more skeptical too, because I don't really understand what is the line value, as you all said, about cryptocurrencies. I see many risks. I don't understand the rationale behind cryptocurrencies, and also I see a lot of risk in terms of how this can affect money supply, how this can affect monetary policy theories that we all study. Last, so I would like to conclude trying to focus on how traditional financial intermediaries, how banks and other financial intermediaries could deal with this kind of financial innovation. As far as I understand, I see some traditional intermediaries who are trying to bring in these new technologies, or these platforms, or these companies operating with the new technologies. So they're trying to internalize the innovation. And on the other hand, I see other private banks and traditional banks trying to focus on different segments of clients, because of course if your target is to offer service to high net worth individuals, probably you still have a small competitive advantage compared to the new entrant. So probably in the next months, in the next years, we will see traditional banks and intermediaries trying to choose which strategy they want to carry on in order to continue to be competitive in this wealth management industry. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again next year.